What's up, Core Nerds? Time to get served. It's your boy Phil. How we doing? We are live. What's up? I had to go live. I didn't want to. Baby Time and I were doing some things, but I have a great court case that people in the Discord and I were talking about. And I also found a couple other gems. So I'm going to play a couple short videos, then we're going to get to Judge Raquel West. It is literally Law and Order. I thought there was a director, a camera, a boom mic. It was fantastic. So let's get rolling with this one first. I think there's some spanking involved in this one. Not thruple kind of spanking, but actual like grandpa spanking old school. So let's go. Hi everybody in the chat. Love you all. Let's roll.
All right, on the record. And so I'll hear brief opening statements, and then do we agree that we're going to call Dr. Hagee so that he doesn't have to continue waiting?
Yes, Your Honor. We filed an application for a temporary restraining order on February 16th after the maternal grandfather in this case, Charles Simpson, struck one of the children with a belt as discipline. In the temporary orders that were put into place on October 27th of last year, there was an injunction against using corporal punishment that applied to the parties. However, we wanted that to extend as to Mr. Simpson as well. And Judge Gamble did put in an order that a temporary injunction that would prohibit any person from using corporal punishment. However, we would like additional protections from Mr. Simpson against the children. He is a caregiver for the children. And we would like him to take parenting classes before being able to be a caregiver for the children. And that is what we're here for today. You will hear from opposing counsel that they have concerns about paternal grandfather as well. However, we do not believe that those allegations are correct. And we believe that any kind of parenting classes should only apply to Mr. Simpson as he is a caregiver to the children. And he is the one that has used unreasonable discipline against the child.
Ms. St. Ledger.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do want to invoke the rule, which I know will happen after this. I just want to get that off my chest.
All right.
Your Honor, this case has had a really rough start. We had a pretty exhausting temporary orders hearing in front of Judge De La Yata. At that time, he heard a lot of evidence about Mr. Pash's sort of violent behavior toward the child, a shoving incident, a smothering incident that prompted him to order Mr. Pash to go to both anger management and a parenting course. And work with a parenting coach. He had a very limited possession schedule before he started with his parenting coach. And once he started with his parenting coach, Judge De La Yata said it would be an automatic pop out just to the standard possession order, expanded standard. So, but strangely, there was no evidence at that hearing about anybody spanking. I think you'll hear from the parties today that they both agreed a while ago that spanking wasn't working for them.
I don't care. It just shows how immature I am. Every time I hear the word spanking, I just laugh. I'm such a child.
In disciplining either Cass or Jamie. Cass is 8. He's having a lot of behavioral issues. You're going to hear a lot about him today. He also has problems with still soiling his pants on a regular basis. He's having some behavioral issues at school that prompted the counselor to ask him to start counseling with the school counselor before we even got him started with Dr. Hagee. So Cass is experiencing something that is that everyone would agree is resulting in problems in parenting him. We have video of him hitting Ms. Pash. We have just a lot going on with that child. Jamie's younger. He's 5. He has some eating issues that result in him needing to go to occupational therapy to sort of keep him on track with trying new foods. He's very resistant. Cass is also needing a tutor now, so I think he's in a 504 program. So a lot going on with these boys. Having said that, there was no discussion at that hearing about spanking, and no discussion afterwards about spanking, and no discussion with us regarding any requests that no one spank these children outside. Obviously, the parents are not to spank them. We get that. But there was no discussion of, hey, this should extend to our fathers. And so Ms. Pash at Christmas gets a call from Chris Pash saying, yeah, Cass has really been having a rough day. My dad said he had to spank him. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. He must have really been acting up. No big deal. Fast forward, and Mr. Chuck Simpson spanks Cass with a cloth belt on the bottom, pants on. Next thing you know, literally, Judge Mazzi, they are filing an ex parte TRO, no call to me, no request to Ann that there be an injunction. Chris Pash even called Chuck Simpson and recorded his phone call, and you'll hear it, never asked him not to spank the child. So we are literally here because he wants to, he won't agree to make as an agreed mutual injunction the court's ex parte TRO order. We're happy to do that. I said it the day that they asked for it. Hey, if you'd asked me for this, I would have agreed to it. Perfectly acceptable. Let's not spank the kids. Let's make sure no one else spanks the kids. What he's here to do is to punish Chuck Simpson, who is not a regular caregiver. He lives in Mobile, Alabama. He comes occasionally to help his daughter out when she is overstressed with going to school herself, managing all the kids' appointments on her own because Mr. Pash refuses to assist, and working part-time. So he was in town for that one weekend, did spank the child, admitted he spanked the child. And Mr. Pash is saying that he wants this court to go beyond its jurisdiction and make an order about a non-party, which we all know he can't do. Sure, we can finagle ways to say that this party, the parties will instruct their parents to do X, Y, and Z. And we're amenable to whatever language would work there. The reality is Mr. Pash, Grandpa Pash, has also spanked these child, Cass, in the past. We know of 2 incidents. And so our point is, whatever we're doing, let's make it mutual. And we just can't get
spanking
that pushed through. So
why wouldn't we? If I'm going to do an injunction, it's going to apply to everybody. It will be mutual. I mean, that's easy. If there's evidence. So, Ms. Bassett.
I'm not lying. When I first heard this, I was going, wait, are they talking about mutual spanking? Is that what we're talking about? Like mutual spanking, or like... Oh, we're such children. And you guys are worse than me in the comments. It's unbelievable.
If you ask me to do an injunction, it's going to apply, and I find there's evidence, to everyone. I'm not.
And so, Your Honor,
The judge is like, spanking for everybody.
we're frustrated. This feels very targeted. I think an important fact is that this accusation and this behavior came after Ms. Pash amended her pleading, saying she would like to have the option of returning to Mobile with the boys on final orders. So yeah, I think making Chuck Simpson look bad is in line with trying to keep that from happening.
My idols are in the building. Credence and Bishop, my boys. The ones who show me love.
That's how it feels. And I don't think it really fixes the problem to make one person look bad when there's a history of both grandparents spanking. Chuck Simpson is not interested in continuing spanking. He understands the severity of the situation. Dr. Hagee chimed in with Ms. Pash after this happened and said, let's not anyone spank the kids. And we're like, great, that sounds great. So I'm super frustrated, and I feel like this is just a real tactic that was employed to limit Ms. Pash's future possibility of returning to Mobile with the boys. when she really does need the support and the assistance they can give her. And it's on occasion. They're not regular caregivers. Like I said, they live there. She lives here, but she has been taking the boys there in the summers. Mr. Pash and Ms. Pash leave the children with Mr. Simpson, my client's parents, and when they take vacations and things like that. So he's been an acceptable caregiver until one spanking, and now here we are.
All right, the role's been invoked, so other than Dr. Hagee, any other witnesses? Is Carl Pash a witness? So Mr. Pash, the role's been invoked. That means you can't stay in the virtual courtroom while other people are testifying. Purpose of the rule is so that your testimony is not influenced by.
How do you guys feel about grandpa spanking though? Mom and dad, I'm all for it. You get a spank, a little whooping. Grandpa, how do we feel about that? I don't know. How do you guys feel? Grandpa would yell at, it's different though. My grandfather, I didn't do anything to my grandfather to disrespect him. And when I was in front of my grandfather, both of them, it doesn't matter, maternal or paternal, it didn't matter. I was extra good to my mother and father. Their sheer presence, they were World War II vets. I didn't do anything wrong around them. So these kids are getting spanked around grandpa. Is he the sole caretaker? Like, I didn't get enough what was going on. And to top it all off, I'm so immature that all I cared about was giggling when I heard spanking. I couldn't wait to hit record because of the spanking part, which we're missing the greater point of this video. That, do we like grandpa spanking?
What other witnesses say. Ms. Chambers is going to send you an invite to be put in a breakout room. We're also live streaming this on YouTube to comply with open court's provision. You are ordered not to watch the court's YouTube. You're ordered not to talk to anyone about any testimony that's going on in the courtroom while you're not in it. You may speak to lawyers, but you may not speak to any of the parties or other witnesses. Ms. Chambers, go ahead and send him an invite. All right.
And could I be in a breakout room with my client real quick before we get started?
Sure. If you need to be in a breakout room based on what I've said, which is, if I'm going to hear evidence that there's somebody who's spanking, and it's going to apply to everybody. I don't know why we need to have a hearing about that. And if you need to talk to your client about that, happy to do it. Give you just a few minutes because it is 11:15. Dr. Hagee is here, and I'm not going to continue to make him just sit around and wait. So y'all can, Ms. Chamberson, Ms. Bass, and Mr. Pash to a breakout room. Be on standby then. Thank you.
I think I jumped here for you guys too. I don't even have to jump here. I think I jumped it. This guy's like, oh, I'm here all alone. Who's gonna spank me? I would have loved to hot mic this guy going right now. I wish you would spank me. He's calling his mistress right now. Up for spanking? Question mark. What's the emoji for spanking? The hand? I don't know. What do we use for spanking? I don't really talk like that on the emojis with the spanking. What's the? I don't know. I'm not with it. What are the kids putting down for spanking? I know what eggplant means. Did I jump this video? Hold on. I had to. All right, let's get to it. Hold on.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Bye.
Okay, so the doctor just leaves. He does nothing. I remember that. All right, here we go.
Are you ready, Ms. Hayes? Shoot.
Yes, she's ready.
Okay. I had jotted some notes. I will announce the agreement as I understand
Thanks,
it. And then
Tommy.
of course, Ms.
Of course, Jamie knows it.
Bass can fill in details or correct me if I didn't say something quite right. What I think we have agreed to is that the parties agree that the court's ex parte TRO that was
that volume on the alert box fixed? You guys got to help me out. The alert volume, that was low.
Issued a couple weeks ago, perhaps March 1st, will be made an agreed mutual injunction. So that will be in place. And then in addition to that, as an additional agreement, the parents agree to instruct their respective fathers to complete 6 hours of parenting courses that will be agreed to by the parties from onlineparentingprograms.com. And until those 6 hours are completed, neither Mr. Carl Pash nor Mr. Chuck Simpson would be the sole caregiver for a child.
So you take an online course about not spanking, and then you're able to see the kids again?
All right, anything else?
No, and that is the agreement of the parties.
Okay. I appreciate y'all working that out. Who's gonna draft the order?
All right, here we go to the next one.
I can do that.
Okay.
Okay, so if you didn't see this one,
$553.
you are in for it. Oh boy, this is a good one. We haven't got a good Michael Page in a while. So this one, we got hot mics, we got mom yelling at dad, we got dad just degenerate. We love it. Let's rock and roll.
Done. Last payment received was a $500 bond, November 1st, 2022. $25.22 August 29th, 2020, and $19.68 August 17th, 2020. He does have prior contempt.
All right, and sir, do you agree?
Correct,
that you only
Monica.
amount
Get your
stated?
popcorn ready.
Yes.
All right, you've not been making payments. Why is that?
Well, since November, when I was released from jail, I lost the job that I had, but because I went to jail, I lost that job. Ever since then, any dime that I've made has been trying not to lose my house. My wife was diagnosed with schizophrenia and was hospitalized for her mental health, and she was just released. The job that I applied for recently pushed back my start date till the 16th, which is the day after tomorrow, so that I could be at home with her. So I have a job. I start the day after tomorrow, but I hope not to lose this job like last one, because you guys seem to think that I should sit in jail instead of work. So I have a job and it starts the day after tomorrow. I've already done my orientation and all I have to do is show up.
Where are you working?
Fins up,
Maybe
Shane.
Amazon
And Yankees, though.
on 68th Street, I think it is, in Grand
Fins up,
Rapids.
Shane-O.
All right.
This
So you
guy's
shouldn't have a
dreadful.
problem making payments going forward, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Just that the last few months have been.
How do I know he's gonna make the payments? We've been doing this for 17 years, and I've gotten what 3 payments in the last 5 years? 3 payments. I don't.
Would you
trust
rather- would you rather
nothing
me
he
sit in
says.
jail?
Nothing.
Would you rather me sit in jail and not receive anything?
Just it doesn't matter. You don't pay anyways, regardless. Ever.
What would you suggest?
He needs to sit in jail more because then maybe I'll get a payment then. It seems like the only time I ever get a payment is when you sit in jail. You can say you got a job, and guess what? As soon as that payment starts coming out, you quit. You do this every time. Every time.
Oh, I don't.
Yes, you do. Don't give me that look. He's 17. You would almost be done paying if you had just kept paying.
Every time we come to court, all it is a crying show for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, because I'm pissed off. Because you're a loser. You have 4 kids. You don't take care of any of them. None.
Says you.
Oh, okay. Really? That's why. Peyton,
We're not here to argue.
child
We're
support,
here to-
Skylar and Aaliyah, they don't get nothing either. She's supposed to be here. She owe her $15,000. So yeah, it's not a crying show. It's a pissed off because you're a loser and don't want to do anything for your kids. You're a loser.
What up, Pete?
And you always
All right,
will.
I'm done with this court hearing if this is all it's going to be.
All right, this
He ain't
time,
gonna pay
based
shit.
on the evidence presented, I'll find Mr. Berry in contempt for failing to make payments as ordered. 90 days will be held in abeyance with a $2,500 bond. Could be a higher bond at this time. If you don't make payments, sir, then the bond is $2,500 instead of $500. There's a $100 contempt fine that'll be added to your balance. You need to make your payments each and every month as ordered to avoid having that sentence imposed. We're all set.
All right.
Don't go anywhere,
Got a couple more
Arlo.
cases. Yeah,
Huh?
not you, man.
Oh,
He's got a
okay.
couple more cases.
Okay. Yeah, I know, that's another place.
Problem.
The withholding order will go out overnight.
All
It's
right.
gonna take them time to get it on. You'll get a copy as well. Just monitor your pay. I'm sure you can go online and monitor it. If you don't
Yeah.
see it coming out, you need to contact your payroll and
Okay.
see if there's somewhere else you need to send it, but you also
Well,
need to pay yourself, okay, until it does.
Doesn't it automatically come out when you send that, or?
Well, it takes some time. They have to put it on their system.
Okay.
So it can
All
take 2 to 4 weeks depending upon their process.
No, it's I won't let it be 2 to 4 weeks before I make a payment.
Good plan, good plan. And then, if anything changes, let us know, all right?
I will.
All right, just hang on. He'll be right back.
Okay.
We got to speed this up. Okay.
Mr. Pro has a obligation of $182 child support, $36 medical support for a total of $218 a month. Currently owes the plaintiff $8,808.38. The state $5,743.14. Fees $255.50. Total owing, including March's billing, $14,807.02. We received $204.32 in May of 2020, $2.81 in April of 2020. There are no prior contempts on this case.
Is there anything else you want to say in this case?
No, just that I can pay. I can start paying on Thursday, after the first check comes, actually.
All right.
And the ex-wife said, or the baby mama said that he owes other women money too. So he's gonna be paying out of his bunghole.
In this case as well, I'll find you contempt for failing to make the payments that are ordered. Sentence of 90 days will be held in advance with a $2,500 bond. You need to pay each month as ordered to avoid having that sentence imposed. There's a $100 contempt.
Okay.
One more here. Let's see. And this file 2005 5718 Sandra Cooper in Orville Parrott. Mr. Barrett's here. Ms. Cooper is not. Ms. Evan, do you have an update?
The defendant has a monthly obligation of $74 child support, $15 medical support for a total of $89 a month. Currently owes the plaintiff $5,184.83. Fees $280. Total owing, including March's billing, $5,464.83. We received $500 bond November 1st, 2022, $38.16 August 29th, 2020, and $61.61 August 17th, 2020. He does have prior contempts in this case.
All right. Is there anything else you want to say in this matter?
Is this case, this last one right now, is this ongoing? Because he was 18 last year.
This guy, man. No matter what these women did, it's the children. It's the children, man. Like, seriously, take care of your kids. I can't. It makes this stuff
Behavior,
makes me
we have
sick.
support ending May 31st, 2023.
So he must
Okay.
he must be a senior. You can support
Yeah, he's
this
a senior.
up until 19 and a half if a child's in school, going on a regular basis with an expectation of graduation.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, he's gonna graduate.
All right. All right, at this time then in this matter, I'll find Mr. Perry in contempt, 90 days held in abeyance, $2,500 bond. You need to pay each month as ordered to avoid having that sentence imposed. There's a $100 contempt fine. You should be all set, sir.
Roger that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not over.
Fucking Kim. Well, as long as I make payments, as long as it comes on my check, then I'm good. Kim fucking dude, she's something else every fucking time.
Yes.
Your voice is
Bravo, Mike Page. Bravo.
Whereby you will receive a 3-year term.
All right, this is a quick Judge Grandma, and then we'll get into Raquel West. Let's roll. We got a good Judge Grandma. This is a quickie but a goodie.
Probation. You will have a substance abuse evaluation,
What's up, Kessa?
testing, treatment as directed. The court will set up the terms
What up,
and
Tupac?
conditions
What up, Tink?
of your probation. Understood?
Kitchen. Muse.
Prosecutor has also agreed that at the time of sentencing,
Ed.
they will dismiss counts 2 and 3, now pending against you. Do you understand all the terms of the agreement, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And with that understanding, you're prepared to enter a plea of guilty at this time. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you are entitled to a trial in this matter by judge or by jury, and by pleading guilty, there will be no trial of any kind. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and you're giving up that right. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, if you had a trial, your attorney would be able to cross-examine, question all witnesses brought against you. If you had witnesses you wanted brought to court, the court would assist you in bringing your witnesses forward. Also at a trial, you could testify if you wanted to. If you did not wish to testify, you could remain silent, and your silence could not be held against you. And sir, you're giving up all 3 of those rights. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
There is no automatic right of appeal. If you change your mind and at some later date, you want this case reviewed by a higher court, you have to get leave or permission of the court in order to have it reviewed. Reviewable issues are limited to all matters and proceedings up to and including sentencing only. Understood, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, has anyone threatened you to make you give up your rights and enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than what I've told you here today, sir, to make you give up your rights and enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Sir, are you acting of your own free will?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you, sir, a citizen of the United States of America?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, on this form, I have your name indicating that you gave permission to your attorney to sign your name. Did you give your attorney your permission to sign your name to this agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Casey, did you wish to volunteer?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Mr. King, this is Assistant Prosecutor John Casey speaking.
Excuse me for 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am.
On the plea form, I just realized that the box was not checked, but I want to make sure it should have been checked. And that's to withdraw the notice to enhance sentence.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not see that. Sir, the prosecutor has also agreed that at the time of sentencing, they will withdraw the habitual enhancement now filed against you.
What is he looking at?
That's correct.
All right.
First of all, he looks like
Understood,
Martin
sir?
Luther King. I
Yes,
thought he was
ma'am.
Martin Luther King.
Thank you, counsel.
His name is
Yeah.
Marcellus King.
Sorry.
Thank you. Mr. King, this is APA Casey speaking. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you can't hear me or if the question doesn't make sense, will you let me know, sir?
No problem.
Thank you. I'd like to direct your attention back to January the 17th of this year, 2023, at about 10:15 in the late evening. Were you in the area of Fort Street and Antoine in the city of Wyandotte, county of Wayne?
Yes, sir.
And were you driving your car?
Yes, sir.
And did you have some? Did the police pull you over?
Yes.
And did you have some cocaine?
Yes.
Was it less than 25 grams of cocaine?
Yes, sir.
And you knew it was cocaine, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you knew that you weren't supposed to have cocaine, correct?
Yes, sir.
Of course.
You were satisfied.
You knew you weren't supposed to have cocaine.
Court will enter a plea of guilty, 1 count, possession, controlled substance, less than 25 grams. Sir, you have to call the probation department tomorrow.
Thank
so
you,
that
Laura.
They can set up appointment to interview you so that they can prepare a pre-sentence report. You got ready to take the phone number you need to call tomorrow?
Okay, yes. Hold on. I'm about to get a pen real quick.
Right, here we go.
Your Honor, I can send it to him.
Okay.
The phone number is 313-224-2600.
313. Hold on. 313-224.
2600.
2600.
Call
Okay.
that number tomorrow morning, and now they will make an appointment for you to be interviewed for your pre-sentence report. Sentencing will occur on I'm waiting to get the date, sir.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not rushing. I thought you asked me.
April 24th, Steiner.
April 24th, 9 o'clock. Counsel, I anticipate being back in the courthouse, but I will also continue to be on Zoom, whatever's convenient. 9 o'clock, April 24th.
Okay, so do I do the Zoom thing or do I come in?
Talk to your lawyer. She'll tell you which one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Did we get contact information for the defendant for the?
Sir, what's your address?
I did send an email to Emma with his phone number and address.
Okay, thank you.
Em, you got it?
Right now, Your Honor.
Your Honor, this is
What up,
Attorney
Lucy?
Hoffman. I wasn't going to go anywhere, even though the valuable one and only
Carpentersville.
Emma said I can go. I want permission from the court. I've been waiting patiently. Am I free to leave?
You haven't been waiting patiently enough, because I'm still on the record on this other one.
Oh, sorry about that, Judge.
That's all right. You here now. Yes, you are free to leave, sir. Thank you for providing the information.
You guys have a blessed day. Thank you, Emma. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, Em, you get the address and phone number?
One moment, Your Honor.
And Mr. King?
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't have on a shirt with a collar.
Okay.
I don't
Okay,
want to
next
see
time
your
I will.
underwear. I don't want, I don't know you that well and don't want to know you that well.
No, I ain't had no. I ain't had on. I had a.
You got a t-shirt on.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's underwear. I don't want to know you that well.
Okay,
a grandma.
I have a button up. I will button up.
All right, did you get the information?
One moment, the
Computer is slow.
it's loading. The email
She's the
is
best.
taking a minute.
She calls
Whereby
his
you will
shirt
receive
underwear.
a 3-year term of probation. You will have a substance abuse evaluation, testing, treatment as directed. The court will set other terms and conditions of your probation. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Prosecutor has also agreed that at the time of sentencing, they will dismiss counts 2 and 3, now pending against you. Do you understand all the terms of the agreement, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And with that understanding, you're prepared to enter a plea of guilty at this time. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you are entitled to a trial in this matter by judge or by jury, and by pleading guilty, there will be no trial of any kind. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
You have a
definitely,
right
we
to
are
be
Sparta.
presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And you're giving up that right. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, if you had a trial, your attorney would be able to cross-examine, question all witnesses brought against you. If you had witnesses you wanted brought to court, the court would assist you in bringing your witnesses forward. Also at a trial, you could testify if you wanted to. If you did not wish to testify, you could remain silent, and your silence could
Okay,
not be held
we are
against you.
going to jump.
sir,
I
you're
just
giving-
want to do Judge Grandma with her underwear. Here we go. She's such a grandma. Oh, I love her. She is classic. Only Judge Grandma would call an undershirt underwear. Technically it is, but no one calls it underwear. And she goes, I don't know you that well, and I don't want to know you that well. Bravo, Judge. Bravo. All right, here we go. The main event. Judge Raquel West had a... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. It was meth heads and herpes and aliens and guns and knives and oh, my God. And literally everything I'm talking about is happening in this case. Sit back and relax and enjoy this case. This is literally Law and Order.
Specifically
Raquel
asked the question
West,
who
baby.
was using meth because he said 2 people and you keep saying 3 people.
Okay, who are the 2 people using meth?
Brady and Mr. Brown.
Okay, so you saying Douglas Perry did not use any meth?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, so I'll give you a little background. The defendant in the back is accused of stabbing somebody else, so he is up for a felony assault charge, and the judge, it's not a jury trial, it's up to the judge. And his case is based on self-defense. So there's video evidence and they're calling witnesses. The man at the podium is his attorney. The beginning of the case was hit or miss. I elected to come right here because it was long. So up until this point, it was kind of just the regular proceedings. This is the meat and potatoes that I'm giving you right now. So let's enjoy.
So my question to you is then if it's my client and Brandy using meth, why are they in your home for 4 months just using meth?
Because they wouldn't leave.
Okay,
Douglas asked them to leave.
Okay, who asked them to leave?
Douglas, the owner of the home.
Okay, so did Douglas or you at any time call the police and say, hey, we got people in our house using meth and we want them out of here?
Several times.
Okay, so you called several times. What happened when you called?
They showed up and said that we needed to handle it and you needed to start eviction proceedings at the time. Okay, they stay for a little bit and they go.
I'm sorry, I don't interrupt you. Did you ever start any eviction proceedings?
No, Douglas, I believe Douglas did at that time.
When? What month?
Oh, let's see. April maybe?
You say April?
First part of April, somewhere around there, you got the forms and was you having to assist your hire lawyers and things like that.
Let me ask
you.
I'm sorry, I don't interrupt you. Let me ask you a very specific and pointed question. You said Brandy was the first one to move in, right?
Yes.
And Brandy, at least according to you, used meth, right?
I believe so, yes.
Right. And Brandy, at least according to you, that was using meth, and I'm going to everybody's state of mind. That's why I'm asking these questions. Leading up to the 16th, all right? At some point in time, you start having sex with Brandy, did you?
No, sir.
At any point in time that you start flirting with Brandy?
No, sir.
At any point in time that you try to make advances to Brandy?
No, sir.
At any point in time that you try to take advantage of Brandy while she was using
What up, Lucy?
meth, as you said?
No, sir.
At any point of time did my client confront you and said, it is wrong for you to try to take advantage of a woman who appears to be under the use of drugs? And anytime did he confront you about that?
You accused everybody. Douglas of doing the same, of doing that, what you just said. Myself, another guy down the street, he accused of it.
Okay, but notice where we're going, because what I want to do here is get to my client's state of mind leading up till May the 16th.
Just ask a question.
My question to you as it relates to his state of mind is that he had accused you of taking advantage of a woman, sir. he had accused you?
Ask a question.
That is my question. Isn't it true that he had accused you? Is a question. Isn't it true that he had accused you of taking advantage of a woman?
Because he maybe accused me, but I'm not the one in the morning that was slugging my wife in the face every day.
Well, we're here on aggravated assault, right? Rape is a crime too, right?
What are we talking about?
Rape is taking advantage.
Hang on. Stop.
This woman.
Hang on. I need you to quit being so take a step back, take a breath.
Guys, I'll repeat it one more time. I see you guys asking in the comments. He is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, with a knife. There's body cam, there's video, there's everything. We're going to see it. His case is self-defense. His defense is self-defense. And it's not a jury trial. It is the judge trial.
Ask a question. You're not testifying. He doesn't need to know where your legal analysis is going. Ask a question, let him answer it.
Isn't it true that my client is upset with you for trying to take advantage of a woman? Isn't that true?
No.
No.
There's one on the, they're on the Elmo.
Oh, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Remember you told our judge, you said, hey, I had a knife too on me the date of March the 16th.
Thank you.
Do you remember you told her that?
May 16th?
I'm sorry, May the 16th. I apologize. May the 16th of 2022. Do you remember saying that?
Oh, yes, I went over.
All right. And in this particular picture, if you look, there's two knives. There's one to the left, and then you see up to the top, there's another knife. You see what the trees?
Can you zoom in? And there's also a,
Oh, my, thank you, Judge.
there's also a laser pointer over here as well.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I can use it. All right, I see one knife right here. Do you see that one?
I see that one.
Okay, now let's go over. And then right here, I see two. Let's zoom in here. See right here, that's two. I count two. 1, 2. You see the other one?
That's a knife?
Look like a knife to me.
Can I stand up?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Oh. That doesn't look familiar to me. That doesn't look familiar to me. The one I had on was white, I believe.
Okay, but that's two knives. Oh,
yes, it's two.
That's two knives, all right? Now, let's retract your story, or let's go back on your story, okay? Let me show you another picture. All right. Would this be a picture?
Thank you, Sparta.
Right here, would that be a picture of the door that you say that my client would not let you in? I'm pointing right here.
Yes.
All right. And then apparently there's a side, some kind of a concrete area, sidewalk, well, concrete, then you have the bricks, then you have the grass, right?
Right.
Okay. According to your story under direct examination, didn't you say that, hey, you had this knife that was attached to your belt? Is that right?
Right.
And then when that knife was attached to your belt, that's when you went to the door. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. What did you say as to how the knife got unattached from your belt? How did that happen?
When he was chasing me across the street and grabbed hold of me and wrestled me to the ground and pulled my shirt off, during that tussle, it come off my belt and fell in the yard again. And I never got it back.
Well, let's be specific. Prior to you testifying today, did you have an opportunity to meet with the state and the state prosecutor? Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Okay, who was there with you when y'all met?
Douglas Perry.
Okay, and when y'all met, did y'all have a chance to look at a video?
Yes.
Okay, and in looking at the video, was there a tussle that was in the street, not in the yard?
Hope everything's okay, Hope.
Yard and street.
Okay, you said yard and
And
street?
street.
Okay,
Okay, yes.
let me get straight to the point. Mr. Crow, isn't it true that when you approached that door, you had your knife in your hand and it was not attached to any kind of belt loop on your belt? It was in your hand, isn't that true?
That is incorrect, sir.
Isn't it true? Remember I was asking about drug use in the home before? Do you remember those questions?
Yeah.
Right, and then remember I said I was leading up to May the 16th of 2022, do you remember that?
Okay.
On that particular day, isn't it true that before you went to that door, you had been using drugs with Mr. Perry? Isn't that true?
Not that day, no. No.
Not that day?
No.
If you were to take a drug test right now, would you pass?
Objection,
Your Honor.
Huh?
Hang on,
Objection,
hang
Your
on.
Honor. That is completely irrelevant.
Sustained.
If you were to take, I stick a question then.
Agreed,
Had you
Tupac.
taken a drug test on May the 16th, 2022, would you have passed?
Objection, Your Honor.
That's the date of the
Irrelevant.
incident.
It's the date of the incident. Overruled.
On May the 16th of 2022, had you taken a drug test on that day, would you have passed?
Probably not.
What drug would you have tested positive for?
Marijuana.
What other drugs would you have tested positive for?
That's it.
Okay. So for purpose of time, I'll pass you in a second. Here's what we have, and I'm asking you would you agree with me, all right?
Sure.
If it is my client's testimony that when you approached that door,
Chunky
you
chocolate,
had a
man.
knife in his hands, would you agree with me that he would have some fear of his life if you had a knife in your hand?
Objection, Your Honor. That calls for speculation.
Sustained.
Do you think a knife is a deadly weapon?
Could be, yes.
Do you think a knife is capable of causing harm?
Yes, sir.
The knife that you had on you on that particular day, was it capable of causing harm?
Sure.
The knife that you had on you that day, was it fully functional and usable?
Sure.
The knife that you had on you that day, we found it as being one of two knives in the in that particular picture, right?
Well, the knife that I had had a pearl handle on it. It was white.
Okay, so we got.
I don't know where that is. I don't know.
Well, let's say this then. Let's count then. Let's do some counting. You say my client had a knife, that's one. You say you had a knife, which would be a pearl handled knife, that's two, right?
Correct.
So then, as a part of my client's defense, self-defense, the third person that would have had a knife to be that knife that we found, which would be the third knife, would have been Douglas Perry.
Now, that doesn't look like a knife to me on that video, on that picture that was shown. The second one. So I don't know about that.
All right, that's your opinion. Did you know whether or not, I'm asking you, do you know? Do you know, and you can testify to what your personal knowledge to, do you know whether or not Douglas Perry had a knife on him on that day?
I do not believe so.
All right. And isn't it the case that you yourself are a pretty big knife collector?
Yes, sir.
Right?
What up, Robert?
You testified that you yourself would have tested positive for marijuana on May 16th. Match a different question. Do you know if Douglas Perry on May 16th, the day of this incident, do you know if he would have been using any drugs on that day?
Yeah, I do not know. I do not believe so. He was in jail.
Do you know if he would have been using drugs? Well, I know your testimony is that y'all picked him up from jail, and then that's when you came back to the house. So I'm talking on that.
Yes.
Do you know if he had been recently using drugs? He only been a day in jail.
No, he didn't.
All right. And then here's my last question.
Correct, Michael.
Based upon your knowledge and what you know, do you know or have any reason to believe what my client's motive would be for locking y'all out? If he knows.
Overruled if he knows.
Do you know? Do you have any knowledge as to what his motive would be for locking you up?
As far as I know, what he told us, he on the house now, if we needed to go take off.
Okay. And that's all, and that's your only answer, right? All right, thank you for your time.
See, guys, I have to go live. You is the best. I have the best community on in LawTube. I don't care. You guys, I'm telling you, join the Discord if you haven't already. Join the Discord. It is a fun time. We're talking all day about court and everything else. It's fun. My moderators are in there all the time. I'm in there all day, all night. It is a good time. We have moderators in the chat. Grim runs it. I'm telling you, it is fantastic. And it's the same people you see in chat all day. So I'm going to be quiet and let this roll. But I have to go live. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Mr. Smith, any follow-up?
If this is State's Exhibit number 3, if that is a knife under that leaf at the very top of that page, is that a knife that you had in your possession that day?
No, sir.
Hope, it's funny you said that. And Ann, I'm sorry for pausing again. Yeah. Michelle actually has the Discord. She's putting it up. PayPal, I know Monica put it up. My mods put it up before. They'll be doing it. My mods are on it all the time. I don't have to ask them to do anything. They take care of it. They are the best in the biz.
No.
Did you ever see another knife being used besides the one that Mr. Brown used that day?
No.
The knife that you did have on your possession, did it resemble anything like that knife? If that is a
Which
knife.
one? Oh, I can't really tell. Mine, the one I had, that looks like that blue one there, but instead of blue, it's white.
Okay. Because if you look at State's Exhibit number 4, you can see that that does have kind of a pearl type finish with the blue on the handle.
Right. Can I get it?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's all blue. The one that I had, this was all white right there. All white.
But it looked just virtually the same.
It kind of the same, kind of the same style, but it was white.
And you never used that knife, never exhibited that knife that day?
No, it came out of my hand or out of my pocket, whatever.
Well, let's be careful. Did it come out of your hand or did it come off of
It
your
came
belt?
off my belt. When
You didn't take it off
No,
your
I
belt
didn't
with
take
your
it like
hand.
this and try to use it as a weapon or anything like that.
Did you take it off your belt to show?
No,
So how it came off, you have no
I
idea.
have no idea. It just when my shirt got ripped off it.
And in the struggle that you had with Mr. Brown, you actually wound up rolling all over on the driveway in the yard, is that correct?
Most of the driveway is.
Mr. Brown claiming that he owned the house now. Was that the first time he'd said anything like that?
No.
Did he in fact, at one point, go up and down the street saying that he owned the street and that the people had to leave?
It was the night before.
That was the night before May 16th?
Yes.
Anybody else hear or see that?
Let's see, it was a neighbor down the street, and then I believe another neighbor, I believe his son is a Beaumont police officer, I believe too, because the neighbor and the other guy was out there keeping him off me, chasing me down the street.
Now, is this your left hand?
Yes.
And the injuries that we see, did those happen as a result of the altercation that you had with Mr. Brown?
Yeah,
These spots as well?
and those right there. I'm not sure about the ones on the other side of the watch.
Did you have any of these marks before you went back to the house on May 16th, 2022?
No,
And this is your right arm?
yes.
Thank you, Amanda.
These are the scrapes you received in that altercation with Mr. Brown?
Thank you.
Did you have pain as a result of the injuries that you suffered at the hand of Mr. Brown?
So, yeah.
Did it cause you pain?
Yes, a little bit.
That's exhibit 14. This mark on your abdomen, did you have that before you got into altercation, Mr. Brown?
No,
And strawberry on your knee?
no,
Didn't have any of those injuries when you went back to your house?
no, sir.
Well, let's begin where he ended, okay? He showed you a series of pictures, didn't he?
Yes.
Right? And I'll zoom through them like very fast. Series. See that one?
Yes.
See that one?
Yeah.
See this one?
Yes.
You see the like the scrapes here on your back? You see
Yes.
that one? You see?
Yes, I see it.
Okay, that same picture, right?
Yes, I see it.
Picture, right?
Yes.
Picture, right? You see that one?
Yes.
Right? Here,
Yes.
right? Here. See that one?
Yeah.
All right. And there. See that? I'm sorry.
You're not even putting it where he can see it.
I'm sorry. I'm moving too fast. Can you see it now?
Yes, I see it.
All right. And none of those pictures contain a stab wound, a slice with a knife wound to you. Not one of those are pictures. That came from the tussle y'all had, the fight y'all had. When you was in the middle of the street, where you said you was thrown to the ground. That's where that came from, didn't it?
That's your opinion.
Well,
Yes, I'm not a doctor.
Right. At no point in time did my client stab you with any knife. Y'all got into a fight and y'all were tussling and fighting each other. You even hit your back was from when you hit the ground. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
All right then. So I want to be clear to this court with this case so we're not confusing any issues here. All right?
Right.
Okay, again, at no point in time did my client stab or slash you with a knife. Y'all got into a tussle. That is the facts, isn't it, sir?
He had a knife, he slashed at me like this. He did not connect.
No. That's the magic words that you just said. Correct. The magic words of what you just said was, at no point in time did my client connect.
It's been asked and answered. I know the answer.
Well, Judge,
I got it.
you got it? So if we get past that, obviously we're not in misdemeanor court with just a fight, right? We're in felony court with alleged aggravated assault, right? Right. Now, do you understand, and that's a question, do you understand that if the fact finder in this case, being the judge, determines that you approached that home with a knife in your hand, you said you had a pearl knife, right? You said you had a pearl
Not
knife.
in my hand, sir.
I got you. If she determines that you did, he would have every right to respond in self-defense. Do you understand that?
That calls for a conclusion of law.
Sustained.
But let's go a step further. Remember when you approached that door? The door on day of May 16th. I'm not talking about any other day. I'm talking May the 16th. Remember when you approached the door on May the 16th?
Yeah.
All right. And remember I asked you, hey, were you using meth on that day? And you denied. You said no, right?
Right.
Okay. But here's something that I didn't ask you. Do you recall when you approached that door and my client opened the door, you told him that you and Doug was gonna drag him and his belongings to the curb? Do you remember telling him that?
No, didn't take him to the curb or anything like that. No.
I can't hear you.
No, sir, not taking him to the curb. Now, if he left with his stuff, that's what, we put trash on the curb to have the garbage come pick it up. That's where we put stuff, But no, we're gonna throw him out there.
Let me rephrase the question. I won't put him in the question. Did you tell him that you was gonna drag his stuff to the curb?
I don't recall that.
You don't recall that,
No.
right? But you do recall testifying earlier, because I think your testimony to our judge is that, hey, y'all had called the police about getting him out. You testified earlier that, hey, y'all was gonna go through some type of formal eviction. So I'm now on what was y'all state of mind on this particular day? And on this particular day, the 16th, did you tell him at that door, we're gonna drag your stuff to the curb?
No, sir.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else, Mr. Smith?
Just a couple of questions, Judge. Did Mr. Brown use?
So you guys could comment. People who are coming in new. His defense, what I'm getting is that they got into a tussle. This guy's a knife collector. He had a pearl white knife. They got into a fight. They're definitely at the house doing drugs, smoking meth, snorting, doing all that partying. And I think they were fighting over the girlfriend. That's what it seems like. And the defendant didn't like it. The witnesses is saying, no, hey, no, that's not it. I wasn't eyeing or nothing. Listen, they were all high. They were seeing things, hallucinating, whatever. It got out of hand. That's where we are right now.
An exhibit, a knife, on May 16th of 2022?
Yes.
Did he swing it at you?
Yes.
Did he try to cut you?
Yes.
Did you flee from him, keep
Definitely
him,
up for
prevent
days.
him from doing that?
I would think so, yeah.
No further questions. I don't have any more.
All right, thank you, sir. Keep in mind those instructions that you were given this morning. You can.
How long had you and Michael Crow been living there before Mr. Brown moved in?
A good 4 years, maybe.
Okay. Who moved in first, Mr. Brown or his wife?
His wife did.
Okay. How long was she there with y'all?
She was supposed to stay there for 3 days, and then when he got out of jail, he was supposed to come get her, and they were gonna take off and do whatever. They weren't supposed to be there.
At some point, did that change?
Yeah. They basically refused to leave and stay.
Did they sign any kind of agreement to pay you rent?
No.
Did you have any kind of verbal agreement for them to help you fix the house up?
Yes.
Did that at some point change to they agreed to pay you rent instead of helping you fix up the house?
After a certain point, it just got to where needs something or something's got to change.
Okay. Did you ever receive rent from Mr. or Mrs. Brown?
At the very beginning, the first month.
They paid 1 month's rent?
Yes.
Do you recall when that would have been?
That was about the end of February, I guess.
But you never got any further rent after that?
No.
I'm checking the Discord.
Now,
Discord time.
May 15th
Discord.
You went to jail, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And what was that for?
That was for a previous animal getting loose, and they left me some fines, and there was confusion about a court date, and this court said they came.
But that was for a Class C misdemeanor?
Yes, it was.
So how long were you actually in jail?
Just overnight.
So when you got home that next day, would that have been about 6:30
Yes,
in the evening?
yes, sir.
Who brought you home?
Another friend of mine who was helping us out, he came to pick me up from detention, let out. He brought me home.
Okay. Now, who was there in the house when you got home?
Just the defendant by himself. He barricaded himself inside the house and locked all the doors. He didn't know I had keys to get in and was actually trying to keep me out.
Okay. What did he do to try to keep you out?
He locked all the doors and he put furniture against the doors and even blocked out some of the windows and was trying to cover all the exits at once.
Let me show you what's been admitted as State's Exhibit number.
So there's another meth head in the
16.
house. This was a party.
This picture looking through the broken glass of your front door
Yes,
window.
Yes, sir. That was sitting in front of the door trying to bar an entrance.
All right. Now,
what up, bros?
When you met with Mr. Brown, where did you first see him?
It was the morning after he was supposed to come get her. I heard talking in the back room, and evidently he'd been let in without my knowledge. I didn't even know he was there.
Okay, no. I'm talking about on May 16th.
You're right.
He was already there.
Right. When you first encountered him, where was that and what was
At the front door.
What was said there?
This is my house and you cannot come in.
Who said that?
Matthew.
The defendant.
Yes.
You see the person who said that to you?
Yes, he is.
Would you point to an identifying article of clothing? What color? What color shirt is he wearing?
The red shirt.
Your Honor, let the record reflect you identified the defendant.
Record will so reflect.
Now, he said it was his house and you couldn't come in.
Yes, sir.
Did you know that to be true or false?
I know that to be absolutely false.
Were any threats made?
Yes, there were. He threatened to kill me and Margaret.
Did he threaten it at some time in the future or imminently?
He had come to the realization that now he's got to kill me too, was the exact words he said.
Definitely bitches.
He's got to kill you too,
yes,
meaning who else?
And Michael Crow.
So he told you he was going to kill you and Michael Crow.
Yes.
Did he do anything in furtherance of that threat?
You're always helping me.
Carried out
all
He
day.
came out from the front door and ran towards me.
Cha!
He ran towards you?
He got up to me and stopped, and for some reason he saw Mike across the street and ran after him.
So he ran after Michael Crow?
Yes.
Did he have a weapon?
Yes, he did. He had what looked like a knife of some sort, pocket knife.
Show you what's already been admitted.
The house belongs to the defendant. I'm 99% sure because this witness is saying, this guy kept saying, get out of my house, get out of my house. And that's why the tussle
State's
started
exhibit
to go
number
on. He was
4.
kicking everybody out because he was hallucinating.
Does that look like the
We'll
knife
hear
he had
why.
in his hand about the size of it? Did Mike have a knife in his hand?
No, he did not. He was unarmed.
Did you have a knife in your hand?
I had no weapons whatsoever.
Did anybody show any kind of a weapon to Mr. Brown before he attacked Michael Crow?
Not once, ever.
Did anybody threaten to do him or his wife physical harm before he attacked you with a knife?
No, sir.
Did he ever mention anything about having a gun as well as a knife?
Not that I can remember outright. I think there was something said here or there. I just don't remember it.
Okay. How would you describe living with Mr. Brown for the month or two previous to this event?
It was complete and all out stress all the time. The man wouldn't sleep. He'd walk around the house half naked, half the time carrying knives in his mouth. And I'd wake up from time to time. He'd be in my room, in front of my bed, in my room without my permission. Just all kinds of stressful stuff. He'd walk up and down the hallway, ordering people, telling them they could or couldn't do certain things. And he's constantly threatening everybody for cheating on his wife. Nobody was.
Did, at some point, where were you when, before Mr. Brown moved in, where were you sleeping in the home?
I was in the master's bedroom.
At some point, did Mr. Brown take possession of the master bedroom and kick you out of there?
The first thing they did was they took over that. They said they were staying back there now, so I had to move into the state.
So why did you do that?
I was looking for a peaceful resolution to get through this without any more stuff. And at first, I really was trying to help the situation a little bit. It just got to be too much.
Did you ever see any other outlandish behavior from Mr. Brown, maybe towards the neighbors?
Yes. Mr. Jones,
The relevancy to his behavior toward the neighbors. So, the objection would be relevant. How is my client's conduct toward neighbors relevant to his case of did he assault this man with a knife? How is that relevant?
Well, I think it goes towards his state of mind for the month or two preceding. He had animosity towards and a deluded belief that he owned the house and the street.
Overruled.
You can answer that question.
Yes, Mr. Brown took it upon himself to go up and down the street and inform my neighbors that this was his street now and that they had to move. So.
Did you feel like your life was threatened on May 16th of 2022?
Yes, I did.
Did you feel like Mr. Crow's life was threatened?
Absolutely.
On that same day?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel like if Mr. Crow had not run from Mr. Brown across the street, that he could have been stabbed?
Yes, he was trying to get away from him as it was, and he got as far as he did.
Did Mr. Brown swing the knife at?
Yes, he did.
Or in the direction of Mr. Crow?
Yes, he did.
That's what.
Thank you, Mr. Adams.
All right.
Oh boy. Here
Let's
comes
begin with
here comes
the
Chunky
date that
Chocolate.
we hear
Right,
about,
Amanda?
May 16th, 2022. Let's start there, all right?
Chunky Chocolate.
Council had asked you several questions that went to your state of mind, such as, my client allegedly telling the neighborhood that this is his neighborhood, et cetera, et cetera. You remember those questions, right? Mm-hmm. But let's be specific with your state of mind on May the 16th and Mr. Crow's state of mind on the 16th.
Jamie.
It would be fair to say, based upon your testimony and his, y'all had to be mad on that day. You had to be mad. That's a common natural emotion. You would have had to have been mad. Will you agree with me? Let's think about it. You said that this was your home, right?
Yes.
Right? You said that, hey, he was, to use your words, he was a complete stressor in your home, right? That's what you said, right? You said that he only had paid 1 month of rent in your home, right? Right? And then the day before, you go to jail, right? You get picked up from jail, right? So you got this man in your home who had not paid rent, right? You just went to jail, right? And then when you and Mr. Crow get to your home, you find out you locked out of your own home, right? Okay, so from a common sense standpoint, any person under those circumstances, I think I would be mad that I'm locked out of my own home. Wouldn't you be mad? So when he
hang on. Be sure and say yes or no, and not just and take a pause between your questions, please.
So when we talk about state of mind, what mindset that you're in, the mindset from a common sense standpoint would be, I'm mad. I'm upset. This guy done locked me out of my own home. That's common sense, wouldn't it? Right?
Yes.
Now, considering this madness, here's where I have some confusion, and you can help clarify. All right?
Yes.
Mr. Crow approaches the door. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Crow, at least if we believe his testimony, does have a knife on him. Did you know that Mr. Crow had a knife?
He did not.
So you saying that he did not, or you saying you don't know?
I'm saying he did not. He did not.
Okay, so what I'm getting is, I think it was the last witness's house, because that's the guy that he was just talking about. According to his own testimony, he was locked out of his own house. So that's what I'm thinking. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Just tell me I'm wrong. But from what I'm getting, it was the last guy's house, not the defendant. The defendant's the one that locked him out of the house. Had a little Fred Flintstone thing going on, banging on the door.
So your testimony is Mr. Crow did not have a knife on him. Would you be surprised if Mr. Crow told our judge that he did?
So extremely surprised.
That was surprising. Okay, gotcha. And right before going to that door on May the 16th, had you and Mr. Crow had used meth on that day?
Absolutely not.
Has you and Mr. Crow ever used meth?
No.
All right. And on that particular day, Mr. Crow told our judge that, hey, he would have tested positive for weed, at least for marijuana. Did you smoke marijuana too?
Yeah.
All right. And did you use any other drugs besides marijuana?
No.
All right. So you
Thank you,
are
Tricia.
upset with him by locking you out. Okay. Now I'm asking you, what did you see when Mr. Crow approaches the door? Remember, counsel showed you this picture, and Judge, do you want me to go? I can put it up there.
You don't have to do it, but just for the record, say what
I'm sorry.
exhibit it is, please.
I can't see. My eyes are bad. No, can you see this? I truthfully can't see this. That's small.
I love Chunky Chocolate's courtroom antics, by the way.
16, yeah, my eyes. That's very small print. Okay, so that is State's Exhibit number 16, okay? Remember, counsel had asked you, he said, hey,
good one, Ed.
This was some type of barrier when you're looking into the door. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So as I understand your testimony is that my client barricaded himself in that particular home. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Now, Mr. Crow told the judge at some particular point in time, you threw a soda water can off, threw some kind of,
No,
you never threw soda water?
I shook one up and sprayed it through the screen, but no.
Hitting him, right?
I was aimed it at him.
Yeah, so let's put all of this into context. He's barricaded in the home. He's not trying to let you in the home. You just testified that y'all mad. Your state of mind is that you mad because this man locking you out of your own home. And then you shake up a can of soda and you try to aim the spray at him. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, so now here's my question to you. With the door being closed, how would the soda have hit him?
Because the door was open and the screen door, the security door was closed and locked. So you can talk there's just a mesh barrier between you.
Okay, so he's inside the home. He won't let you in. And then when you hit him with the soda water through the screen door, is that when he comes out?
Yes.
All right. So technically, if you just want to go technically, you assaulted him. That's an assault.
No.
Sir, if I have a bottle of water and I throw that water at you right now, sir, I've just assaulted you.
Not you stand in my house, you're not.
Okay. So he gets hit with the soda water. At that particular point in time, when he comes out of the home, what does he particularly do?
He stares around, looks around, finds me, finds Mike, and he rips out running towards me, and the rest happens.
So you're saying he ran towards you first, and when he ran toward you, what did he do?
Pulled out a knife, said, he's got to kill me now. Got to kill me now, too.
I got a question for you. At least with the prior testimony, I counted 3 knives. Okay. Clearly, this is a knife right here. Do you see that knife?
I can't see that.
You can, if you want to look on the back screen, if that helps, you're welcome to. And if you need to stand up, you
I
can
just
as
see
well.
one knife right now.
You see that knife right there?
Where? That one knife, yeah. I see
Right, I zoomed in on that one. Do you see that?
that. Yeah, I see that.
Okay, so let's count. That's a knife, and then in this picture right here, I want you to zoom in right here. You see what the tree leaf?
Yeah.
Here's another knife. Do you see that
I
knife?
see something there. Okay, I don't recognize it, but I see something.
Does it look like a knife to you?
I don't know what that looks like. A lighter, actually.
Lighter, knife, it's something, whatever that something
Yeah,
might
there's
be.
something there.
Gotcha, all right. Here's my question to you. Did you know that Mr. Crow, at least according to his testimony, he was a knife collector? He had a lot of knives. Did you know about that?
No, I didn't know he had a knife.
No, I didn't say only. He collected knives. Did you know?
Yeah, he collects knives.
Right. And isn't it true that you use some of those knives yourself?
I've sharpened them before.
Right. And isn't it true that, just follow me. If Mr. Crow says he had a pearl knife, one, if the testimony is that my client had a knife, two, the third knife in that picture was the knife that you had on you on that particular day. Wouldn't that be true?
That'd be false. I did not have a knife on me that particular day.
All right.
Or any other day. I don't carry them.
Sir, isn't it true that in your
Got you,
state
Monica.
of mind, where both of you were mad because he had locked you out of your home, isn't it true that on that particular day, you both were armed with knives and you told him you had enough and that y'all was going to throw his stuff on the curb? Do you remember telling him that? You told, and I'm following on what question you had with Ms. Smith, Mr. Smith. You told Mr. Smith, you said, hey, my client was accusing you and several other people of sleeping with his wife. You remember that, right? But the part you didn't tell is, in that particular home, do you know of anyone that have used meth in that home?
Yeah.
Okay, and the them that you're referring to is my client and Brandy, is that right?
Yes.
All right. Do you know that my client was upset? You tell me if you know. Was he upset with Mr. Crow for trying to take advantage of Brandy?
He's always upset at something.
Okay, but I'm asking you a very specific question.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
He was upset.
He was
upset about everything.
Right.
People reaching out, living in the walls and the mattresses and stuff. Sure. Yeah, he was upset about that.
Okay.
I guess I would be too.
Right. And any man would be upset about another man trying to take advantage of his wife who supposedly uses drugs, right?
Yeah, and she also says herpes too. Not really attracted to me at all. No.
Okay, so you're saying that this lady that's his wife has herpes, and Mr. Brown would be naturally upset if someone was trying to take advantage of her, right?
Again, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess here's my question. When Crow tells our judge they moved in sometime in February, and this incident is in May, right?
Right.
Right. And according to you and Mr. Crow, they're using meth in that home, right? Okay.
Be sure to say yes or no.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
They're using meth in that home. I know that there are police officers that's gonna come testify, all right? Will there be, to your knowledge, tell me if you know, will there be any police officer that's gonna testify that from February all the way on up to May, you made one call to the police saying, hey, I got guys using illegal drugs in my home?
Okay, I can absolutely prove I made at least one call because they took me to jail because they looked on my record. But if they had been out there 2 or 3 or 4, maybe, I'm not sure.
Did you call the police for meth use?
I've called the police every time.
For meth use in your home?
No, not for meth use.
No.
For violence.
You said for violence
For
in your
violence,
home? Okay.
yes.
But you never called the police regarding any meth use in your home, right?
Right, nobody.
Right. And the reason that you didn't call for meth use is that you yourself and Mr. Crow were using meth in that home. Isn't that true?
That's not true at all.
And let's just think about this for a second. Here's what you're going to have our judge believe. Are you going to have, as a question, are you going to have our judge believe
that this strange woman by the name of Brandy just moved into your house, and then later, her husband, boyfriend, whatever you want to call, he moves into your house, and they stay there for just 4 months. That's your testimony?
You asked me what I would tell the judge. I would say, Judge, Your Honor, it was a blowout since the day they moved in. You know, I tried to do this the right way and asked them to vacate, and they would not. They protect themselves with squatters laws and everything else. And I tried to argue with them, and not only were they not paying me, they owed me for a lot of things and were causing damage on a daily basis. Every morning they would disturb the environment by getting up and feeding his wife every morning. It goes on and on. It's crazy.
So that the bottom line is that just out of the kindness of your part, not that y'all were using drugs together.
No, the stupidity.
It's just the stupidity and the kindness of your heart that these people are in your house for a 4-month period, 3-month period, and they're the only one using drugs in the house, and y'all not using drugs.
Shocking, isn't it?
That's shocking. I'll pass the witness. Thank you for your time.
Any other questions, Mr. Smith?
Brown ever accused you of being an alien?
Yes.
A what? I didn't hear that. Alien? Oh. In the state of Texas?
I am, sir.
Have you always worked with the Beaumont Police Department?
Yes.
What are your duties as a patrol officer?
It's traffic enforcement and criminal enforcement.
Okay. Were you working in that capacity on May 16th of 2022?
I was.
And about 6:30, shortly before that, in that evening, did you receive a dispatch?
Yes, I did.
What, if anything, did you do as a result of that dispatch?
As a result of dispatch, I drove to the location dispatched to and took the necessary measures on arrival.
Was that on Diane Drive here in Beaumont?
Yes, sir, it was.
Was that in Jefferson County, Texas?
Yes, sir, it was.
Was dispatch keeping you updated from the first dispatch until the time you arrived?
I'm gonna object. That's the hearsay and right to confront anything that dispatch told him.
He didn't ask them what they told him. Overruled. Go ahead.
Were you receiving updates?
I was.
Okay. You recall about how long it took you to get there?
I do not.
Okay. Were you the first officer on scene?
I was.
What did you see when you first arrived?
Upon my arrival, I observed 2 males laying near the street, or one laying near the street, one standing in the street, and an additional white male standing near, facing back toward the other 2 white males that were near the street.
Okay. Were they in the property of 4080 Diane, or were they, some of them across the street there?
At the time of my arrival, they were all within that property.
What would you describe the demeanor of these 3 people?
The one that was on the ground, the white male that was on the ground, he was crying out. It seemed when he was not upset, but he appeared to be hurt. And the other one was trying to communicate with the one that was nearest the house. The one that was nearest the house, he was very animated, very upset, and yelling. He had a knife in his hand.
Do you see that person here in the courtroom today?
I do.
Would you point to him and identify the article of clothing or the color of clothing that he's wearing?
He's the white male to my right, your left, wearing a red jumpsuit.
Now, let the record reflect he has identified the defendant in this case.
The record will so reflect.
Now, you said Mr. Brown, the defendant, had a knife in his hand.
Yes, he did.
Did that concern you?
Yes, it did.
What did you do as a result of that?
As a result of that, I placed myself between the 2 white males that were nearest the street and Mr. Brown. I had my handgun out, and I began giving him commands to drop the weapon.
Did he respond appropriately?
No, he did not.
What did he say?
He advised me that I was going to have to kill him.
Were your senses heightened at that?
Yes, they were.
Sparta.
did you command him more than once to drop his weapon?
I commanded him multiple times to drop his weapon or at least have a seat so I could talk to him, and he advised me he would not do so. I was going to have to shoot him.
Did he ever make advancements towards you? Did he ever come closer to you with that knife?
Yes, he did.
Were you afraid of Mr. Brown leaving the yard either way, either coming towards you or going back into the house?
Yes, I was.
Why?
At the time, I had the two subjects behind me that I had been advised that a stabbing had occurred between the
Objection to the hearsay right to confront whoever had advised him that a stabbing had occurred.
It's not awful the truth. The matter asserted, judge, it goes to his state of mind and what he was doing and what he was concerned about.
Overruled. Go ahead.
and therefore I knew I had to protect all those around. Besides those two subjects, there were additional sites in the neighborhood. I knew if he left the yard.
Although this is long-winded, it is long and drawn out. I did tell you this. It is very good banter back and forth. The lawyers are, I mean, this is Law and Order. This is like a production. This is like spot on. We don't get this a lot on LawTube. These trials like this. We don't.
One of them does, one of them does.
Okay, so this skipped a little bit. I'm skipping you guys because we didn't miss anything. Don't worry about it. So now it's on a break. I got a little intermission for you. I think it's coming up soon.
How about shooting man? What?
Okay, so this is after they took a recess. They came back. I just skipped ahead for you guys. We didn't miss anything.
All right, back on the record. State's attorney's present, defendant and defense counsel are present. Mr. Smith, you may proceed.
Yeah, halftime show there is a halftime show. It's not Rihanna, but she looks like Rihanna. She definitely looks. Let's put it that way.
In the house. I'm gonna go check on her.
The theme is meth.
Brandy. Brandy, you in the house? Come on, please. Brandy. That door's open. I'm gonna stick my hands there and get all cut up.
So if you could look on the top left and the right, you could see a little bit of the body cam.
Brandy, come on, please.
There you go, Samson.
Brandy!
Brandy,
Is it Brandy or Brandy?
I thought you were saying Brandy.
I thought it was Brandy.
Brandy's the girlfriend. Brandy's the girlfriend.
Come on, please. Yeah, it's just some more things. She had a shock or something.
Yeah, Rose. Brandy is the girlfriend.
Brandy, come on, please. Where you at? We got him. Brandy, where you at? Go ahead, log call for ID, please. Still looking for it. Go ahead and take that one. Brandy! Small dog. Trying to get dog bit. She's not. I know she called several times yesterday. Are y'all able to locate a number for her and get her a call? If she can return, maybe we'll meet her. How about that shooting man? What? Tell you later.
That one right there. Yep.
I was back about right here.
Now, you told one of the other officers you thought you were gonna have to shoot him.
I did.
How close did you get to shooting him?
He had about anywhere from 8 inches to a foot step forward, and I was shot him.
Had he made progression towards you as y'all had a discussion before he was tased?
Yes.
And as you were telling him to sit down or to drop the knife or to disarm himself or even keep the knife, but just sit down, did he comply with any of those commands?
No, sir, he did not.
Did he continue to come closer to you as the discussion went?
Yes, sir, he did.
But before he crossed over that line that was very close, you changed from shooting him to tasing him.
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, and that's what happened in this case. It wasn't caught on this video because yours was in your car charging.
Yes, sir, it was.
Now, this point of the video, y'all are looking for the prongs from the taser, is that correct?
Yes, sir, there's certain parts of it that you have to collect per policy.
Let's get through some of that, Judge. Save time.
All right, stand up. Go your feet. Go your feet. Use feet. That's what you're snapping right now?
Hey, you fix my nails? Maybe I have
Oh, yeah. Shelby, you need a photo of him?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It just didn't want to.
Okay, are y'all seeing this? One second. Y'all just saw this happen? You know what, there's people in the house? They're not.
There's nobody in the house, man.
And they're like,
You need a right.
y'all ready? Y'all ready? Hey, there are aliens in that house. I do not care. Do not care.
Yes, and then stop.
Do not care what you see. Don't care if you want call me crazy. That's no more.
Those two tight.
My hand is small. Hang on.
Sorry. Right here. He fell right here. Already got a new cartridge. This is a taser though. Yeah, straight up. It's like right there, possibly. I'm not sure. And then the knife is back over here. I'm gonna grab my vehicle and bring it up this way. It's 11:20, the next house. I think you get yeah, you're going to jail, you're under arrest.
Under arrest?
Yeah.
And there's you're not reading those cards? Go to Jefferson County Jail?
Yeah.
Are you being serious?
Yes.
Really? Are you being serious, Brett?
Here.
Boy, he's fine. Oh, my great.
Aggravated assault. Aggravated assault? I gotta go to penitentiary again. Penitentiary, sounds like better than out here. Gonna go this vehicle right over here, man. This one right there. Just going around the side.
I think I'm gonna jump here, guys, because it's kind of because the defendant takes the stand too, and I could always re-show this on the replay. We'll go to the other cop. Intermission time. Intermission time. It's a whole lot of meth yelling. I would have loved to seen that. Why couldn't they show us the... Oh! Taser videos are tomorrow. Okay, here we go. Halftime.
So that's where we stand. The other matters should be just kept along with it once the case is resolved.
Okay, we've got 3 cases. Which one do we want to take first?
The trespass is the newest case, and that's the case she's going to enter a plea of not guilty to. And then the other matters should just be left to trail, I believe. I think she already entered a plea of guilty to at least one of the obstructings because she had a suspended sentence.
All right. Ms. Coda, are you there?
I am, sir.
Okay, let's talk about your trespassing on March 13th. What is your plea to that charge? No, okay, this is the deal. You've got some suspended sentences, so a plea of guilty or no contest may result in revocation. So I want you to know that going forward. But, so your plea is not guilty?
Sir.
Okay. All right, and this is one of 3. And so you're also on 06203. 06203. There's a failure to appear at community court. Do you admit
she's got
failing to
hecker
appear
eyes.
Community court on October 26th?
Is she a reptilian?
Sir, I wanted to ask the court if I could return to community court. I forgot that I really did. I didn't even know I had it until.
Okay. All right. What's the city's opinion on that?
I don't think she shows up. It looks like we have 2 FTAs here.
Yeah, okay.
What's up with
All
those
right,
eyes?
so we've got a not guilty on the trespassing, and then on the third, it's okay, let's try to clear this up. On 10258, you've got, do you admit failing to appear on October 26th of 2022?
Know that I had court.
I just need, do you admit or not?
I admit it.
Okay. What's your plea to the obstructing and resisting on July 28th of 2022?
You can see the
Not
future.
guilty.
Not guilty? Okay. All right, so let's bundle these up. We'll all keep them together. And we will resolve any of the contempts at the time of trial. And the bail will remain the same. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Your Honor. My understanding, just for the history, my understanding was she was sentenced on obstructing with a 90-day suspended sentence and sent to community court. And then the other resisting, I don't think she had entered a plea yet, but she just took a plea of not guilty. But that was the same date, same community court. She missed, so she didn't go to community court on that one day to try to help her on these 2 obstructings. Is my understanding.
All right. Okay, so we're fine. We'll bundle them up and
I can't with those eyes.
same trial. Okay, thank you, Ms. Coda. Okay.
A bench trial? Excuse me?
I love how she's trying to use her hands.
At 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Let me explain it to you, Ms. Coda. Now just pay attention. You've entered not guilty pleas, and you've got some outstanding contempt matters. We are putting all of these cases together. We're bundling them up, so to speak. And they'll be addressed at the time of your trial, which is April 13th, Martha?
Yes, Judge, April 13th at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, and there will be a, since we do have an O and R, I am going to assign you a legal defender.
I love Reno.
Martha, can you tell this young woman how she gets in touch with her legal defender?
Give me a minute, Judge.
Take your time.
Her legal defender is Jennifer Mayhew. Maybe the jail will give.
She's a
give her the
reptilian.
contact
I'm
information.
convinced.
Okay, jail, can you facilitate that?
Where is she going?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, thank you, Ms. Coda. All right, let's go.
All right, we're gonna go. All right, here we go. So now this is the meat and potatoes. We're gonna get to the defendant. This is really not important. Okay, so now he's gonna call. Now we're calling him to the stand.
Please.
Okay, here we go.
I can move the trial along.
No, Judge.
All right, and so we will take our lunch break.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. You have the opportunity to tell our judge everything that happened from the beginning to end, okay? So, just as a formality, would you state your full name for the record?
My name is Matthew Lewis Brown.
Matthew Lewis Brown, okay? And prior to this particular case where you got arrested, where were you residing?
Prior to the case, you mean? Okay.
Well, as of May the 16th, when this happened, where were you residing on that particular day?
Brandy and I had moved into that home on March 18th of 2022.
Okay.
And I believe the incident was on May 16th. So it wasn't even quite 2 months. On the 24th, we signed a written agreement that I drew up March 24th.
Yes, sir.
The agreement was for $500 and $200, $500 a month and a $200 deposit.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we I drew that up on the 24th of March. It was a handwritten agreement. It's just something that I suggested. Well, Doug originally,
Okay, but I guess, I'm sorry, go ahead. Oh,
okay. Oh, please bear with me. If it doesn't pertain or whatever, please.
We'll let you know.
Let me know, okay. So, as you know, I had been to prison for a less than a gram charge that had been enhanced, and I was doing 8 years for. So anyway, I'm on parole. I got out. My wife has lost her home in our 2 bars, and her children, and she's on drugs pretty bad, and I'm upset about it. You know, I'm hoping that there's, I don't have anything to cling on to at this point. So I'm looking at the house in her, which is a 3-quarter house in Beaumont, and we hadn't spent any time together, but she said that she had won a bunch of money, and she wanted me to meet some friends of hers that she was staying with, and that I could come over to this house on Diane Street. She has some clothes for me and whatnot. So I go over there. I meet Doug and Mike. They are interesting people. They're both smoking speed with my wife, and there's another guy there. I can't even think of his name. Anyway, it's not a situation that I was really disappointed to see her like that, and I tried to pull her aside and talk to her to see if if there was any hope in like us getting back on the right track so that we could get our lives back together. Because at this point, I was sober, and I hadn't used any drugs. I didn't have any thought of doing anything like that. But Doug pulled me aside. He said, "Look, man, hey, don't worry. If she doesn't have anywhere to live, she can live here with us. Or you know what?
Nice meeting you, Sparta. See you again.
You can work on the house. You know anything about working on homes?" I said, "Well, sir, I have an engineering degree from A&M, so I do know a little bit about construction. I can help you, and that would be wonderful. It looks like you got a lot going on here. You guys saw in the video, it was under construction. He said he'd been working on that remodeling project for like 2 years. So anyway, he needed some direction there. But after the first day, I knew that this was not going to be an arrangement that was going to be okay. I should never have moved in there. I realize that, y'all. Okay, it was a complete disaster. Okay, I mean, the writing should have been all over the wall, and I saw it. I just thought maybe we could use it as a stepping stone, and then move on to get our own place. But it was obviously a terrible mistake to get involved with those people. Look, I'm just going to be honest. You know that they're on drugs. You know that testimony. We've watched video. You know that they're on drugs right now. You know that they were on drugs. I mean, we all know that. Everybody that's seen the testimonies here realizes what's going on. I promise you, they had been smoking speed in the driveway with James the day that this happened. That's what they were doing in the driveway, parked in the truck. They were sitting there smoking speed. I'm sitting there watching from inside the house. And I don't know about barricading myself in, but I had unlocked the front door, and there was a screen door, an iron screen door that had a lock as well. I didn't realize that I hadn't unlocked that door. I heard the doorbell ring. I came to the door, and all I heard was Doug screaming, "We're going to drag you and all your stuff to the curb." Then he sprayed me in the face with the soda. Okay. I ran out the back door of the house. You see where the front door was closed. I ran out the back door of the house. Okay. Into the front yard. I picked up a knife. Okay, hold on. Let me back up. This is very important. Mike had a knife in his hand. He's saying it was on his pocket. It's my testimony that he had the knife in his hand when I answered the door. Okay. And Doug sprayed me in the face with soda. I guess that constitutes assault. I don't know about all that, but I mean, the proximate cause, I think, is the legal term for my reaction okay, to all this is that I was sprayed in the face with soda and confronted at the door with a knife, okay, the neighbor had a knife. Now, okay, let's back up just a little bit, okay, to why Doug went to jail and how all that came into play. Okay, Mike called the police the night before on Brandy because she had a hot check warrant. Okay, they got in some verbal argument because apparently Mike had slept with Brandy. Okay.
Ooh.
Because this all came out. Okay, and they were arguing, and Mike was mad at Brandy, so Mike called the police on Brandy. Okay, to get her arrested. Okay, she left. Okay, she caught wind of this or whatever. This is all. I felt so uncomfortable and furious. You know, you can imagine like how upset I was with not only my wife, but of course, Mike, excuse me, in the whole situation there. And when the police showed up, they're like, okay, what's going on here? Where's this woman? She's not here. Okay, well, let me have y'all's driver's licenses because I'm about to run y'all's names. They ran our names. Doug had an outstanding warrant for some misdemeanor. Okay, they took him to jail. Mike and I are left standing there, just looking at each other. This guy that just called the police on Brandy, you know, they just had an argument. I mean, I just heard he was yelling at her like about how he had sex with her like the week prior or something like that. They weren't getting along now. You know what I mean? They're arguing now. I mean, I'm completely uncomfortable. Like I'm mad at both of them, you know. And Brandy left the house prior to the police getting there. Mike and I are left sitting there. I'm like, Mike, you and I are not about to stay under this roof together tonight. It's just not going to happen. Like, I'm sorry. Mike stayed at one of the neighbors' houses or something like that night. And I was hoping to be able to pull Doug aside and reason with him and say, listen, Mike, Doug, I don't know what's going on. I want to leave this house so badly. I can't even tell you. This is the worst situation ever. I've gotten out of jail. We've spent 2 months here. I got my driver's license, my social security card, my opened up a bank account. I got a little money put away. And somebody, one of your drug addict friends, went in my bedroom and stole my wallet and my cell phone. So now I'm at square one, you know, and I am like completely just deflated. I mean, I didn't have any means to get around. This just happened like 2 weeks prior. I wanted to get out of the situation, but I didn't have all those things that I had put together. Anyhow, feeling a little bit defeated. You know, it was so. Let's get back to the night that he went to jail. Doug goes to jail. Mike stays the night somewhere else, as well as Brandy. Brandy does as well. They pull back up. I see them pull in the driveway. I did not anticipate, and I didn't even want to talk to him at all. I was planning on staying in my room. Like really, I did not want to talk to him. I did not anticipate a confrontation. Like I just didn't see it happening. And I came to the door. They sprayed me in the face with soda. I saw Mike had a knife in his hand. I ran out the back door. I had a knife in my hand, and I swear to you on everything that this is completely honest. Like I know that he had a knife in his hand, and I had a knife in my hand. We both like were looking at each other and thought, okay, we're not gonna go there. Okay. And we both dropped our knives in the front yard. Okay. And that's when I got mad and went and we tussled in this yard across the street. You've seen video evidence of this. This is what happened. You know, I didn't, you heard him say that I never made contact with him with a knife. I mean, didn't everyone hear him say that?
You got to testify on last
question. Okay, well, I'm just saying, he did say that. Okay, I never made contact with him with a knife. So what is being accused here is aggravated assault. I understand that if you brandish a knife, a gun, or anything like that in a threatening manner towards somebody, or threaten somebody, I completely am aware that this is illegal and that constitutes aggravated assault. That notwithstanding, if you are able to, if you defend yourself, if you're trying, I mean, the guy had a knife. I mean, the proximate cause was him spraying the soda in my face and telling me he was gonna drag me and all my belongings to the curb. I ran out the back door, trying to get away from the house. Then we had an altercation. No one was hurt. Boy, I did feel like dying at that point.
Okay, so let's.
I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I felt like dying. Like when the police showed up, like I was so like my wife had just cheated on me. We've lost our children. I'm just telling y'all like what's going on in my life and how I got to this point. Like I'm like really defeated.
Did it to yourself, dude.
And I really don't want to have to do like a decade in prison. And no one really got hurt here. I mean, I was upset. I mean, I had every right to be. Mike cheated on me with my wife. Then they come to the door and they confront me again. I mean, I would have left the house and planned to leave if that their knucklehead friend James had stolen my wallet, went to some game room and like.
So let's focus on our defense, and then I'm gonna pass you to the prosecutor.
Hang on, let him.
I'm just okay. Look, y'all are about to ask me particular questions about like, okay, were you? Okay, I'm telling you what happened.
Listen, so hang on. So, Mr. Brown, they're allowed to ask, just like everyone. Don't talk over me. If I'm talking, no one else is talking. Do you understand? If a lawyer's asking a question, you don't talk over them. This is the way this works. You've been given an opportunity that most people don't have to just narrate your story. But I am going to allow both of them to ask you specific questions. You're not going to interrupt them, and you're going to answer their specific questions if they ask them. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Thank you. Go ahead.
All right, let's go specifically to our defense, and that's what I want to stick on. All right, our self-defense. All right, that's where I'm focused. Okay, just focus on that. Okay, when Mr. Crow approached that door, did he have a deadly weapon in his hand, and that was a knife? Just a yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Did you fear for your life? Your life. Did you fear for your life? Did you fear that you was in imminent threat of harm of him possibly using that knife on you? Did you have that fear? That's all I'm asking.
There were four people at the door. There was James, some woman I didn't recognize. Apparently that's his wife or something. Doug and Mike, they were all at the door. That's something that never came out.
I got you.
Okay, I'm just telling y'all, like I was hoping that there would be some sort of.
Mr. Brown, listen, he asked you a specific question, so be sure to answer that question.
So the answer is yes, you fear for your life. That's all I'm asking. So now,
what up, Michigan crime time?
Did they attempt to make entry into the home? That's either they did or they did not.
Yes, I unlocked the iron screen door. When they came in, the front door was already unlocked. I unlocked the iron screen door and was letting them in. And then when they started barging in, I kicked the front door shut.
Gotcha. So hold on, let's stop there. Let's go slowly. So they attempted to make entry. That when you unlock the door, is that right?
Yes.
And at some point when you unlocked the door, at least when I heard the testimony, you got sprayed with some soda, and that
sprayed with soda, stabbing.
When you got sprayed.
Yeah, I mean,
when you're on meth, it's all the same.
Y'all are talking over each other. The court reporter can only take down one person at a time. So you have to let them ask, and then you have to let them answer.
Right. Just answer the question. Did you get sprayed? That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So as they were entering into or trying to barge into the home, you said that you kicked at the door. Is that right? Correct. Now, at some point in time, as they are entering into the home, you said 4 people, right? Right?
Yes.
You retreat. You retreat, grab a knife because you see them with a knife, right? And you run out the back door. Is that correct? Correct. Now, the reason that you grabbed a knife is that you saw them with a knife. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. So now, when you retreat and you run out the back door, were you trying to get away from the aggressors?
Yeah, I was trying to get away from them. I didn't even remember opening it. I don't think I opened the knife. Like I didn't even open it. I don't remember. I just picked up the knife. I remember having a knife. I think that was the knife I had in my pocket or something.
I got you.
I don't remember. But anyway, go ahead.
I got you. So now you're retreating from the back door as you run from the back door, at some point in time, do you encounter either Perry or Crow?
No, I ran out the back door through the side gate of the home.
Gotcha.
Okay, this is the side gate of the fence. I apologize. I ran through the fence. Okay.
Do you encounter either one of those two?
Yeah, they're in the front yard. Okay. James and that woman get in the truck and they burn off. You know, apparently they had called the police like prior to. I don't know when they called the police. The police, the timeline of the police showing up was kind of strange. Like I was surprised they got there as quickly as they did. Because I'm assuming that they called the police prior to the whole.
So just going slowly. I'm just trying to go slow, and I'm gonna be done pretty soon. When you run from the back door, now you out of there. Do you see anyone with a knife in their hand?
Yes, Mike has a knife in his hand for sure.
Okay, now you have a knife, he has a knife. Does he say anything to you or do you say anything to him?
No, we both like dropped our knives.
Okay, so let's hit stop. You drop your knife, he drops his knife. Is that correct?
I mean, I just remember, all I remember is dropping that knife. All I remember is dropping the knife. All I remember is dropping the knife, and I remember he had a knife in his hand. He dropped his knife.
I got you. So when we gotta stop. So when we get to this point in the video, because do you remember? I'm just asking you a question. Say yes or no, so we can move. Just yes or no, okay? Do you remember me asking the detective, say, hey, why you didn't get the video that showed the start of all of this? Yes, do you remember that question?
Yes, sir.
All right, and he apparently didn't get it, right? So your testimony covers what the ring cameras didn't show as the start. Your testimony just covered that, right?
Yes, sir.
So now that leads us to the ring camera that anonymous person sent, and that's where we are here. And I'll hit play. Oh, it didn't play. It didn't play. I hit play. I'm almost done. This is, oh, that's all. I think that's just like a minute, right? It's 2 minutes. I'm not playing 2 minutes.
Let's see. What do we got going on? I think I don't have to do anything to this, guys. I think I did this already.
Captured on the ring, or they didn't get that footage. That's right.
I mean, you can see that they don't get the initial confrontation.
Yes.
At the door across the street. The
So-
house is directly across the street. That's it with the tree in front yard.
Yes. So my specific question to you is this. At the point that we hit play on this camera, this footage, at the point we hit play, neither you nor Mr. Crow have knives on your possession. Would that be correct?
No, we don't.
All right. So
I mean, even he said that, like, he said that, he didn't make contact with me with a knife. I mean,
can't just listen, just
Pretty
answer the
sure.
question. At that point, neither you nor he have a knife in your possession. Is that correct?
yes, sir.
So for purposes of our judge, if she chooses to watch this video again, when she's watching the video from where we start the video to where when the video ends, neither you nor he have a knife in your hands. Is that correct?
No, neither one of us do. I don't remember.
Gotcha. And do you remember me showing several pictures of him? And I said that, hey, look at the bruises on your back. Look at the scrape on your knee. Look at the scrapes on your hand. That's commensurate with a tussle or a fight, but it's not commensurate with being stabbed. You remember me asking that question, right? And at some particular point in time, and I'm not going to replay the whole video. At some point in the tussle, he falls to the ground, right? And that ground is concrete, isn't it? And that concrete would easily explain the scrapes that he had on his back that was in those pictures, right?
Yeah, even he said that was from the concrete.
So at the end of the day, and here's where I can bring this to a close. At the end of the day, when judge watches that video, no knife in your hand, no knife in his hand. Is that correct?
No.
All right. And are you asking the court to make an affirmative finding of self-defense in this particular case where you were confronted with deadly force, you tried to retreat, ran out the back door in spite of the deadly force, and then you was confronted again with more deadly force when you got out from the back because he still had a knife?
Yes.
And at some point, you both dropped your knives and you had this issue. Is that right?
That's correct.
And are you asking the judge, based upon our affirmative defense of self-defense, to find you not guilty on these particular charges? Is that what you're asking for?
Yes, I am.
Thank you for your time. Pass the witness.
Mr. Smith?
All right, Mr. Brown,
Yes, sir.
you'll agree with me that on May 16th, 2022, in a house or at a house in Beaumont, Jefferson County, Texas, you, Matthew Brown, did threaten Michael Crow with imminent bodily injury by using and exhibiting a deadly weapon, a knife. Did you not? Okay. Did you not? So yes or no?
No, sir.
You did not.
This
No,
gets
I
good.
was defending myself.
Oh,
He-
what?
he-
Mr.
he was the
Brown.
first one.
Mr. Brown,
I'm
real,
asking
hang
a on.
on.
Question. You simply have to say yes or no.
Sure.
That's all I'm asking.
Yes,
My
sir.
questions are leading questions. They require nothing more than yes or no.
Yes, sir.
On May 16th, 2022, you got into a confrontation with Michael Crow, didn't you?
Yes, with
That-
four people at the door.
There's no further explanation is necessary. A yes or a no. Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have that ability?
Yes, sir.
You got into a confrontation and you exhibited a knife, didn't you?
I picked up a knife, walked to the front door.
Yes or no? This knife, you picked up this knife, didn't you?
I can't even say this. One of the collection of Mike's knives, he's got like 200 switchblades.
This is the knife that was recovered from the front yard. This is the knife that was in your hand when the police officers approached.
Okay.
Is this the same knife or a different knife than the one that you used to show Michael Crow?
I don't know. I don't know if that's the one or if that's the one he had. I don't know.
The detective said there was only one knife recovered at the scene. That would be this knife.
My objection would be is that let me frame my objection specific. That's facts, not in evidence. When he said, because the detective said it was possibly two knives, and I showed the picture with two knives.
There's nothing, no one has testified that that second object was a knife. My recollection is the detective said there was a knife.
Said only one knife.
Overruled. Go ahead.
And you admit that you grabbed that knife to threaten Michael Crow.
No, to defend myself.
Did you pick up that knife and show it to Michael Crow?
I just ran out the back door and had a knife in my hand.
Mr.
trying to get
Brown,
away. Like, I
I'm
just
asking
ran
a
away.
question.
I wasn't
Hang on,
trying
y'all
to
are talking over each other. If it's a yes or no question, just answer yes or no.
No, in that sense, I understand the question. No, that was not my objective. My objective was to defend myself and get away from the house.
Mr. Brown, yes or no is all that I require of you. That is all that the question allows of you. Do you understand that?
I do understand.
See, that's a yes or no.
So hang on. So here's the thing, Mr. Crow, Mr. Brown, what'll happen is, obviously you want to explain more on a yes or no question. Mr. Adams will have an opportunity to get back up and ask more questions if he thinks that would be helpful with more explanation. So right now, it's important just yes or no question answers. Okay?
Okay.
Go
For
ahead.
instance, one of his questions was, is that knife the knife that you used to threaten Michael Crow? That's his question. That's a yes or no answer. Okay. That's obviously like a loaded question. I don't know how to answer it. I don't even know that that's the knife. It wasn't like, I just picked up like.
Well, it's either, so it's either no, or I don't know,
I don't know.
or yes. Either way, I don't know is also an acceptable
I don't
answer.
know.
You'll agree with me that you picked up a knife.
Yes, sir.
You'll agree with me that you showed that knife during the commission of the assault.
Asked and answered, objection, asked and answered, you ever asked?
He hasn't answered it.
I'm not sure he has either. I'm going to let him overrule just one more time. Let's see.
I didn't. Okay. So the question one more time, I apologize. You asked me if I displayed a knife. Okay. I had a knife in my hand for defense
Again,
purposes.
I require a yes or a no, or an I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. You don't know if you picked up a knife and displayed it. Do you remember a letter you wrote to the judge?
I do.
Do you remember saying, I grabbed a pocket knife that was on the kitchen counter and ran out of the side door of the house?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes, sir, I do.
The pocket knife I picked up in the kitchen was Mike's. Remember saying that?
Yes.
Okay. Now you don't know? Does that refresh your recollection?
No, I mean, I do. You're asking me if I displayed the knife, which means did I brandish the knife in a threatening manner? That is the definition of the assault. But
Mr. Brown, according to your testimony, the way I heard it when Mr. Adams was asking you questions, you showed a knife to Mike, Mike showed a knife to you, and then you both, without uttering a word, dropped them in the front yard. Remember?
yes, sir.
Is that true?
Yes, it is.
So it is true that you brandished and displayed, used, and exhibited a deadly weapon, correct?
No.
You didn't use or exhibit the knife.
No, I definitely didn't use the knife.
You didn't exhibit the knife.
Okay. Exhibit. I don't.
Did you show the knife to Michael Crow?
Not in a threatening way. Not in.
Did you show the knife to Michael Crow?
I just remember having a knife on me trying to get away from the house. That's all. I've been dropping the knife.
Okay. So why did you drop the knife?
Because I don't want to hurt. I didn't want to hurt anybody. I mean.
You didn't want to hurt him?
Hang on, let him answer the question, Mr. Smith.
I mean, simply put, I don't want to go. I didn't want to go there. And I really don't think Mike
Smoochie.
as far as like getting that knife fight. I mean, we didn't. You know what I mean?
Okay.
We did.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you a different question. Why did you feel like you had the right or the ability to prevent the owner of the home from returning to the home?
Oh, that was not my look. That was not my objective at all. I know you're in a position now where you have a lot of evidence and you want to win this case.
Hang on, Mr. Brown, answer the question.
Only answer the question.
Okay, I was not trying to prevent Doug from getting in the house at all, for
Okay,
sure.
let me stop you.
Definitely not. Matter
Let me
of fact, I
stop
wanted
you.
Doug to
Stop, okay.
You were extremely frustrated. Did you or did you not say that the door was locked when they tried to come in?
The iron screen door was, but not the front door.
Okay, but that door was locked. It would prevent their entry, except that they had a key, correct?
Yeah, matter of fact.
No
they
further
didn't.
explanation is necessary.
No, they
Answer my question.
Sure.
Only my question. Did you not then try to kick the door closed as they were trying to come in?
Well,
Yes or no?
oh, yes, after being.
Okay, that's all I need. Just a yes or a no. Do you
Night,
have
Hope.
that
God bless.
ability?
Mr. Smith, just ask another question and quit asking him if he has the ability.
You watched the video from the ring camera.
Yes, sir.
You pummeled Mr. Crow in the driveway, didn't you?
I wouldn't use that word. We got
Well,
that hustle.
let me ask you
He
this.
said we wrestled around. That's what his words were.
Okay.
That's what he
Well,
said.
the picture shows him on his back and you swinging at him when he's on the ground. Is that the way you remember it? Yes or no?
That's what we saw.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. You said you dropped the knife in the front yard across the street, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's watch this video. What did you stop to pick up right there?
I'm sorry, sir. I cannot make out the video. I cannot see what you're saying. Can you rewind? Talking about like way away from the altercation. That might have been his knife or my knife or whatever. I don't know. I think that was his knife. Actually, the one that he said he dropped.
So you picked it up?
His knife? Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is.
Where'd you
That
put
was
it?
His knife.
Where'd you put it?
After he and I got in that tussle right there, I think I picked up. Can you go back and play it one more time? Okay.
Hang on, don't talk while the video is going.
That's the knife that he had. Okay, and I was trying to get it out of the way. So he
Pause
would
it.
pick it up and use
Hang
it.
on, stop.
That's exactly what happened.
Okay. Was that this knife?
Oh, I don't know which knife is which. I don't know.
This was the knife, the only knife recovered at the scene. So is this the knife that you picked up right there?
John admits the testimony because his own witness said he had a pearl knife, so we know it's two knives. His witness said he had a pearl colored knife. His witness,
only
Mr.
one
Crowe.
knife was recovered.
But
He
we
did
know
that.
it was two.
There was one recovered. That's what the question was. Go ahead. Overruled.
So is this the knife?
I don't know. That's not my knife though. That's Mike's knife. They're all Mike's knives. I don't carry a knife. I don't.
So you will agree with me then that that was a knife that you picked up?
It might have been. I don't remember. I think. Look, he had a knife in his hand.
Mr. Brown.
I was trying to get the knife away from him.
Mr.
That's for
Brown.
sure. I didn't want to get attacked with a
Mr.
knife.
Mr.
That's
Brown.
exactly what it was.
You didn't want anybody to get attacked with a knife?
No, yeah,
Really?
I didn't want him to attack me with a knife. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe you'll agree with me about this. Michael Crowe said that he never used exhibited a knife. Douglas Perry,
He said he did.
Mr. Brown, he said he never used or exhibited a knife. Mr. Perry said Michael Crowe never used or exhibited a knife. Do you remember those two people testifying?
I don't remember him saying he never exhibited. He said he had a knife on him. I mean, that's why.
Do you understand what exhibited means?
No.
Do you understand what used means?
I definitely understand what used means. Apparently, I don't understand what exhibited means, and I'm being serious. I really don't. I apparently don't. Exhibited means, does exhibit mean like the switch the blade open and brandish it like in a threatening manner?
Exhibited means to show.
Well, he said he showed the knife. He said he had it on his front belt, but that's not true. He had it in his hand.
Okay. So you'll agree with me. We cannot reconcile your version with the other two people that were there, right? Either y'all both had a knife according to you, or only you had a knife according to two other people, right?
Well, that's not true.
That's a yes or no. That's a yes or no. They said only one knife was shown or used. You said two were. So we can't reconcile those together, correct? Correct?
I don't know about that. He said he had a knife.
You recall them saying you used the knife, correct?
Oh, as a matter of fact, Mike said to the contrary. He said, no, he didn't make any contact with me, or he said he swung it in my direction.
Mr. Brown,
What he said.
Mr. Brown, we either have to believe them or you, right? Right?
So.
And you saw aliens that day, correct?
No.
You
Definitely did not see aliens. No, I'm completely embarrassed by all that. I was tased and a little bit beside myself. Like apparently, I don't. Anyway.
So let me stop you. Let me stop you.
Stop.
Were you under the influence of being tased when you told Mr. Perry about aliens prior to that day?
No, we never had any discussions about anything like that. Okay, Mike had some.
If Mr. Perry never watched the body cam of the officers, how would he know to bring up aliens?
I imagine it's discussed. I don't know. I mean, Mike.
Was it just a coincidence?
Mike kept bringing up this like stick that he had that he would. It doesn't even. It's just a bunch of silliness that it revolves around them being like stoned on speed. Like that is like. I mean, you can.
All right, there's not a question. All right, any other questions?
I don't have any questions, Judge.
You can step down, sir.
I do not have any other witnesses. I think my client has established
Ruling.
our self-defense by way of his testimony. And we're gonna ask the court to make an affirmative finding of self-defense in this case.
Hold on a second. So defense rest, does the state have any rebuttal?
No.
All right, so then very briefly, I mean, I know what your closings are. I don't know if y'all want to make argument to me at this point to point out anything. I understand what you're asking for. Okay. So at this time, based on the evidence presented in the case, I am going to find that all of the elements were proven. I am not going to find that there is an affirmative finding of, there is not an affirmative finding of self-defense. I'm going to find Mr. Brown guilty of second-degree felony offense of aggravated assault. And so before we go forward, obviously sentencing has been left up to the court. And at this time, I'm also going to revoke any bond that has been set for Mr. Brown. There will be no bond. Mr. Smith, what I'll do is I'm going to reset the case for a sentencing hearing, but I need probably some testimony with regard to the alleged prior offense that you want to use. If you can, let's go for now real quick, if you would, read that and we'll have a plea of true or not true to that allegation. And then at sentencing, there can be testimony with regard to that if it's needed.
All right, state further alleges on April 8th, 2019, the 252nd District Court of Jefferson County, Texas, in cause number 18-29554.
Judge West was done after this.
On the document set forth, it said Matthew Lewis Brown was due and legally convicted.
She's got a good sense of humor too, Judge West.
To wit, possession of a controlled substance. On the document, it said last name, and it would say court had jurisdiction. And said conviction was a final conviction. And it was a conviction for an offense committed by the said Matthew Lewis Brown prior to the commission of the charge of the offense charged against him as set forth in the indictment.
And Mr. Brown, is that prior conviction that Mr. Smith just read out true or not true? Okay, so I will accept that plea of true. So that would enhance the punishment to that of a first-degree felony. We'll get a pre-sentence report done. Mr. Brown, what's going to happen is probation is going to come out to the jail. They'll interview you for that pre-sentence report. They'll get that to me and we'll get it to your attorney as well as the state's attorney. If there's anything that you think is important for me to know, you can get that information to Mr. Adams. He'll present it to me on your behalf at sentencing. You will also be given an opportunity to testify if you would like on sentencing as well. Bring any witnesses. And so we will reset the case for a pre-sentence report. You can go back with the vote.
Done. Guys, I'm sorry I was a little quiet. I was just dealing with a little baby time drama. She's a wonderful kid, but some of these kids are horrible. Some of the things they say. I know a lot of pretty much everyone has kids and grandkids, and it's crazy. The things that they say. Since when is saying you don't have a mom or your mom is dead an insult? Call her ugly. Say she has a pimple. What, really? You say that? So needless to say, I was dealing with that drama because you fling an insult like that at my kid. It's not even an insult. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. So I grew up in the 90s. You grew up in the 90s, 80s, whatever. That was just never said. I don't want to vent on you guys. I never do. But you guys are like family at this point, and it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, she doesn't even want to go to school. Like, you kidding me? So I'm putting the dad hat on, taking the teacher hat off, and it's crazy because it's where I teach, where we live, and you know, I had more than half of these kids in school, and it's horrible. It's just horrible. That's the comeback you have. And she doesn't bother anyone. She's on honor roll. She plays sports. She's with me 90% of the time. The only time she's not with me is when I'm here with you guys, literally. So she's not a troublemaker. She's never in trouble. It's just that they don't like her for some reason, a bunch of girls, and they say that. Really? Sorry for venting. All right, guys. Glad you enjoyed this. I got a ton of clips in the back ready to go from the vault. You guys are amazing. I keep seeing new members in there all the time. Supers are live. You guys are the best. I will see you tomorrow. I am going live. I may, watch out for it, I am going to go live during the day tomorrow. Watch out. I will be live 2 times tomorrow. I will see you guys. I love you all. Thank you for being served.